Welcome back to It's About Flippin' Time. This antique vanity dresser has seen better days, but with some repairs, sanding, and a lot of patience, this piece is about to get a whole new life. Next up, guys, time to move on to some other furniture. And I have a piece that I'm excited about, but yet still don't know which way to go with it. I'll show you. All right, so this is not all of it, but these would make great nightstands. I'm not done. Oh my God, this is heavy. Ooh. Let me first try to put this together so you get this, you can see the full piece. It's gorgeous, guys. Let me tell you, this mirror is very heavy. Anyway, what do you guys think? It's gorgeous, but is there a market for this beautiful piece of furniture? Honestly, it's in gorgeous condition. It just needs a lot of cleaning up, and I'll probably have to sand it down, take off the whole finish, but it is so pretty. The mirror is aged, but that is what makes it gorgeous. But couldn't you just see this entryway piece in the right home? It is so pretty. Or just as a statement piece in a living room. I got some thinking to do. You know what? I don't think I need to take too much time to figure out what to do. This piece deserves to be restored. I can't separate this piece. It's too gorgeous, and hopefully I will be able to find a buyer for it, but I think I have to do it. It's calling me. Could be quite the challenge. I'm wondering if someone at one time added some stain to it because it just looks a little blotchy. So anyway, you guys know what's next, right? Let's do this. As you heard me earlier, this is a beautiful antique vanity dresser, most likely from the early 1900s. Back then, vanities like this were a staple in nearly every bedroom, complete with a large center mirror and two smaller side mirrors for getting ready. You'll notice the carved details on the legs and corners, the dovetail joints in the drawers, and the original hardware that's seen decades of use. It's a solid piece with so much character, but as you can see, it's definitely in need of some love. So while I take it apart, let's get a closer look at what we're working with. I'm using a gel-based stripper here and applying a thick coat across the surface, but I'm quickly realizing this finish isn't coming off in full layers like it sometimes does. What it's actually lifting is the top coat, not the stain underneath, and that's okay. The original stain is really sunk deep into the wood, so rather than force it, I'm letting the stripper do its job where it can, and then I'll follow up with sanding to even out everything and pull more color out if needed. Before I move on to sanding, I always wipe everything down with acetone. It helps remove the leftover stripper residue and opens up the grain a little, which makes sanding smoother and more consistent. This step also gives me a better look at what I'm working with, and you can already see how the wood is starting to breathe again. I've had a lot of people ask about my workshop, so here's a little behind the scenes tour or description of my space and where all this really happens. I started this business out of our downtown condo, but after about a year and a half, it became clear I needed more space. So about 3 years ago, we found the spot, and it's been a total game changer. The base cabinets that you see in the background were actually unfinished units from Lowe's. I assembled them myself and painted them in Tally Green by Melange Paints and added this butcher block countertop, also from Lowe's. It's the perfect mix of function and warmth. Tons of storage and a lot of solid work surface for sanding, prepping, and staging. Speaking of staging, I also created a designated area to style and photograph my pieces. It really helps to keep everything cohesive and professional, and it makes a huge difference in how my work is presented online. I've got a bunch of open shelving for my go-to staging items, so I'm not hunting for things every time I finish a piece. A couple years ago, we added the van for pickups and deliveries. It's been a lifesaver for hauling bigger pieces and staying efficient when things get busy. And every furniture flipper knows that you can never have too much scrap wood. I found an old cubicle style piece on Facebook Marketplace and repurposed it to hold my cutoffs, moldings, and random trim I might need down the road. For my paint booth, I actually built it out of an old pop-up canopy we weren't using. I lined it with plastic on all sides and added roll-out paper flooring that I swap out every 6 months or so. It's not fancy, but it works really well for spraying safely and keeping overspray contained. And maybe my favorite part of the whole shop is my giant rolling workbench. It was one of the first things I built when we moved in here. Tons of storage underneath, and I can roll it around depending on what I'm working on. It's the heart of the workspace. I might not have the most advanced tools yet, but I'm constantly adding to the space little by little and building new skills right alongside it. Every project, every upgrade, every piece that rolls through here teaches me something new, and that's honestly what makes this space feel like home. It's a workshop built with intention, creativity, and plenty of passion. Really hope these come out easy. I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe. Slow and steady wins the game. That's good news. That would have gone in. Drawer liners can be a hit and miss. Now, the benefit of them obviously is it protects the bottom, so I'm happy for that, but sometimes removing this stuff is very difficult. Luckily, this is coming off fairly easy. And I really believe these are going to clean up really nicely on the inside. Not too hard, fairly easy, by just sanding, so I'm gonna do that rather than stripping. So let's get these other ones done. Alrighty. Now, a part that you always hope goes well is the mirror. I'm gonna have to first disassemble it. A lot of times on the backs of the mirrors, you can find the age of the piece, so that I am looking forward to that. Hopefully, I'm also going to take a photo of this hinge to make sure I know how to put it back on, because you know me and hinges. All right, let's see if I can remove this safely. I don't think it'll be a problem. August 31st, it says 18, so I wonder if that's 1918. Okay, success on this one. Let's get the other two. Okay, since this might be a bit tedious, guaranteed not my most favorite part of this job is sanding. If you would have told me back when I first started that this much sanding would be involved in refinishing furniture, I'm not sure I would have believed you. Actually, I'm not sure I would have even attempted to turn this into a full-time job. Sanding is one of those things nobody really talks about when you're getting started. You think it's going to be a quick once-over and done, but nope. It's layers and layers and then more layers. But the truth is, this is where the real transformation happens. Where you get to know the piece, figure out its flaws, and reveal what's been hiding underneath. It's tedious, it's repetitive, but it's also kind of meditative in a weird way. And by the end of it, when the grain pops and the surface is baby smooth, you realize it was worth every dusty, shoulder-burning second. Well, I believe I'm going to go with chestnut. It's just a really pretty tone for any antique furniture. You guys proud of me? I'm putting it up high so I don't have to bend over. So I've got an area up here that must be just a different, it's probably some trim, just different than what's on here. So it didn't stain to match. So I'm gonna use some toner, Mohawk toner, to try to get a better match. Same thing on this one. Oh, I'm running low. This stuff is magic. This will help the drawers glide a little easier. A little feed and wax. All right, let's put some General Finishes Armor Seal on there. So pretty. So I'll put a couple of coats every day. I'll let this dry 24 hours and add another layer of protection, and it's gonna be beautiful. When I first brought this vanity into the shop, it was tired. Worn finish, dulled wood, water stains, and years of grime that had built up across the drawers and mirror. The bones were there, solid craftsmanship, carved details, original mirror, but it had definitely seen better days. Restoring this piece started with a full chemical strip, followed by hours of sanding to remove what the stripper couldn't. And if you've been here long enough, you know there's always more sanding than you think. After cleaning and prepping every surface, I applied a rich, warm stain that brought the wood grain back to life, then sealed it all in with a satin top coat for a soft, classic finish. I made sure every drawer opened smoothly and left the original hardware in place because it still had a story to tell. This vanity may be over 100 years old, but now it feels timeless, the kind of piece that can live in a bedroom, a guest space, even an entryway. It's ready to be loved all over again. Thanks for following along on this transformation, and as always, I hope it inspires you to see potential in the pieces others might pass by. Until next time, it's about flippin' time.